boys and girls. Today we're going to look at our 3D shapes and we're going to look at the flat surfaces of them. So I have an activity that we're going to do here on my screen together. Move this out of the way. Okay, so it says I used the 3D solid shape to trace these shapes. So these two shapes that are right here on my screen. So let's look at our 3D shapes. This one is a cylinder. This one is a sphere. This one is a cone. And this one is a cube. So which of the shapes that are on the screen over here on the side could I have traced to get these black shapes? So let's look at the first one. That is a square, right? We've learned about our squares. So a square, and the only 3D shape that I have to choose from that has a square as a face or a flat surface is my cube. So I'm going to click on my cube and put it in the box. Now, this one is a rectangle. Do any of these shapes have a rectangle if we trace them? No, but there is one choice over here, right here. This is called a rectangular prism. If I was to trace a rectangular prism, I would get the shape of a rectangle. This is what a rectangular prism looks like. Let's look at our next slide. It says, I used a 3D solid shape to get this shape. So let's look again over here at my choices. I have a cube again, a sphere, a cone, a cylinder, and a rectangular prism. So if I take this rectangular prism and I turn it like this and trace around it, I could get the shape of a square. I could also get a square if I traced my cube. So I'm going to pick both of those pictures to put in my box. Let's look at our next slide. It says, which 3D shape or solid shape did I trace to get this shape? So that's a circle. I know that my cone has a circle shape, and I know my cylinder has a circle shape. So let's put those two there, cone and cylinder. Let's go to my next slide. It says I used a different 3D shape to trace this one. So that one is a sphere. If I put my pencil and go around my sphere and trace it, guess what shape I get? I get a circle. Even though it doesn't have a flat surface, if I trace it, it will still give me a circle. So I'm going to put my sphere in the box. Now we're going to look at some real objects. So it says, what 2D faces do you see on this 3D solid? So a can of soup is like a cylinder. My 2D shape is my flat surfaces. My flat surface on my cylinder is a circle. So I'm going to click on my circle and move it over. Let's look at the next one. This one is a piece of pie. If I look at the top part of my pie or my cake, I can tell it's a triangle shape. So I'm going to move that. And my next one. This is a birthday hat. You've probably had a birthday hat before. So if I trace my birthday hat, remember my birthday hat is shaped like a cone. If I trace it around, I'm going to get a circle. That's the flat surface. So many of our 3D shapes have things that we have already learned about because we learned about our 2D shapes. Let's look at this next slide. What 2D faces you see on this 3D solid? So that is a domino. If we were to trace around the domino, you would get a rectangle shape. We're almost finished. Let's look at this next one. What 2D faces do you see on this 3D solid? So an ice cube is like a cube. So if I trace it, what shape is my flat surface? It's a square. Move my square. So you are going to be using all of these attributes that we have learned for our 2D shapes to describe the same things that you see on our 3D shapes.